Hi guys, my name's Subnautica, I'm the man on the Silver Mountain, and welcome back to Subnautica. Now, last time we went back to the Aurora, we got the blueprints, that's the word I'm looking for the rocket, for the Neptune rocket. We've got the where is it? The platform in here somewhere. There it is, the Neptune launch platform, which is actually kind of cheap, all things considered, but we also went and just had a grab of all kinds of other stuff that was in there. We've still got all these nutrient blocks and bits and pieces. I went in, there was also a storage module for a prawn / sea moth, so I've got that. I've just picked it up for the sake of picking it up. Let's just drink that. But also there was apparently there was one data entry that was either added or otherwise. Here we go. Altera Arms Pamphlet, and this was just sat in one of the other crew quarters rooms, and I just saw it and I was like, oh, I picked it up and was like, just to be sure, and there it was. It was something new. So, charity is an archaic concept which the realism of today's Alterans has rendered obsolete. We understand that we are each responsible for ourselves, but the best way to get the most out of ourselves is to work together with Altera. The implication of this reasoning is clear. If someone is in need, they must find a way to be needed. Altera Arms is a training academy for those that need to be needed. We're not a charity because we don't ask for handouts. We prefer to think of ourselves as philanthropic, beneficent facilitation services promoting synergy between employer and workforce. AA operates on a lottery system. By investing any number of credits, you will be entered into our prize draw. Larger investments yield higher chances of winning. Your credits will go towards training unskilled colonists in vital tasks such as maintenance and interpersonal skills. The colonists receive this training voluntarily and free of charge, on the condition a minimum contract of with one of our investors or completion of their on completion of their training. So basically, this is a kind of mix of recruitment scheme and whatever else, and it all kind of cycles around. It's interesting, and I like the idea of it being, they're going, we're not a charity, we're a in fact, we need that. We need to go and stash some of this stuff on our on Flimsy Mark II. Also, yes, before any of you ask, I have turned the motion blur off because after having it on for a few videos, for quite a number of videos since they added it in, actually, I'm not sold on it, honestly. I just it doesn't look great to me. It doesn't kind of sit well with how I want the game to look, because that kind of motion blur isn't necessarily something that I see in reality. So why would I see it here as such a pronounced thing? So I've turned it off for the time being, just because it was bugging me. But right, what we're going to do is we're going to load up Flimsy Mark II. Welcome aboard, Captain. With a whole load of the stuff that we originally had on Flimsy Mark I. Okay, there's nothing in there. And then with our mobile vehicle bay that we just loaded up, we're going to take it all the way back to our base over there, to our main base, and we're going to build the Neptune launch pad directly above there. Why? Because at the moment, the vast majority of our, in fact, why did I come up here? I can stick them in that, just down here. The vast majority of our resources and our equipment and everything else that would be useful in building and prepping the rocket for our departure is sat over there. So we may as well go over there, set it all up, and that way we can tackle everything that's going on right then and there. Because also then we've got a few other things that we need to do. Like, we need to go and get Speedy, but we also need to go and build another sea moth, one that isn't Speedy, that I want to use to hunt Leviathans with. And that might sound crazy, but we need those scans before we leave, because we need to bring back as much stuff as we possibly can to get onto the board of directors for Altera. That's our main goal, right? That's what we're focused on with it. When when everything's gone to shit, then the only thing that we can do is try and kind of make money from it and follow our intuition as a member of Altera, as a budding entrepreneur, whatever we happen to be, whether we were support staff, whether we were something else. You know, we know what we're going for. So what we're going to do... Cool. I hadn't done that since I loaded him in. But, right, so what we're going to do is we've got to head back over to... let's pop this up so I can actually see without bumping into some of these outcroppings and things. So what we're going to do is we're going to head back over there, and we're going to set up our mobile vehicle bay after we've just headed down into our base and made sure that we've got all the stuff that we need, because it was like, what, 4 lead, a computer chip, and 2 titanium ingots. Like, that's not... Ooh, actually, titanium. I don't think we've got that much titanium. Let's just... There's tons of titanium around here, so we could just grab a load of it and then stick it on Flimsy here. Because that... Yeah, there we go. Because then we can... You know, if we've got a surplus, we've got a surplus, and that's absolutely fine, because we're going to need even more titanium for... Let's get rid of that. Right. But we're going to need more titanium for the rest of the rocket anyway. So if we pick up like as much as we can from here, just fill ourselves up with titanium, then we're good, right? Then we've got an excellent like start to get going with. Right, how much? Oh no, we're not going to get any more. Okay, let's dump this stuff back in there for the moment. And then we can... I mean, there's some right there. But yeah, so I'm wanting to go straight and deal with all of this stuff fairly succinctly. You know, I'm wanting to... Hoping that was just something like a gasopod bumping into the side of the ship and not anything else. Not going to get back out there and there's suddenly going to be a Reaper Leviathan. No? Okay. I don't know what that was. Right, where was that other piece of metal? Right, it's over there. Grab that. Crash fish eggs? Yeah, crash fish eggs. We don't want crash fish. The one egg that I would like, that I've never actually seen in the game, but I'm sure it has to be here somewhere, would be a was it a mesmer? The mind rapey fish. You know, that's the ones that talk to you in the voice of your PDA. Or rather they make you think your PDA is talking to you, telling you to go closer so that it can try and eat you. Oh, no, please don't gas me. Oh, I mean, you can laugh at me all you like, but... You know, I just don't care for the farts, thanks. Here we go. But yeah, like, I would love to have... Because they're interesting looking kind of pretty fish anyway. But I'd kind of be interested to see if it could... kind of get into our heads through the glass, in which case it would suggest that maybe there's a little more than just the flashing lights that allow it to do its little trick of getting into our heads, which is something that would then add credence to more of what I've been saying about the creatures on this planet in many instances having a lot of kind of electrochemical capabilities in various ways that may very well stretch far beyond what would otherwise be normal for your average fish with a capacity for picking up, I don't know, the magnetic disturbances caused by small fish below the surface, like a hammerhead shark or a ray or something, you know. We've got an awful lot of interesting creatures here. Also, actually, whilst I remember it, and whilst I'm just picking up as much titanium as possible, apparently the devs have been talking, now that the game's been fully released and we've got all of this stuff kind of open and to do, they've been talking about what comes next. Nope, leave me alone, arsehole. But they've been talking about what comes next, and apparently that includes an Arctic DLC. So where I was in some of my when I went into the dead zone off the edge of the map and was going around going, oh well, maybe this is a bolt-on spot for a new kind of biome that they're going to add post-release or something. You know, we had talk about the Arctic biome, maybe it's going here. Probably not the case, and apparently it's going to be a completely different character that we're playing as, probably a female protagonist from what's been said, which sounds fine and interesting to me. But there's been a lot of other speculation and kind of questions around how it would relate to this, because if it's the Arctic biome, like, where is that in relation to where we are? You know, that's something that I'm interested in. Could we fit any more in here? I don't think we could we? No, okay. But like, where is that in relation to where we are? Because obviously we've got, like, the temperature up here is pretty moderate, you know, to say the least. So if we grab 3 more, then that'll be that locker kind of sorted as well, and then we can head out. But yeah, so I'm interested. But lots of people have been going, oh well, wouldn't it be interesting if it was kind of concurrent? If, you know, whilst we're surviving down here, one person popped off in an escape pod and they got further north or south, whichever pole it's at, for this Arctic region, and as a result, you know, when we eventually leave in the rocket, wouldn't it be interesting if we leave and then in the DLC they see us, you know, that character sees us in our current state leave, and as a result then it's kind of they end up having to die or something, they get stranded. And there's a part of me that's like, yeah, that would be kind of interesting and cool and a bit dire, but at the same time they've now linked the Kara here with the Kara in their other game, Natural Selection 2, or Natural Selection as a franchise as far as I'm aware. So if this is where, I mean, apparently the Kara was across numerous worlds because it killed off so many creatures across so many places. I'm kind of thinking, well, what if instead the researcher was, you know, or rather the character we play is a researcher sent back here by Altera, you know, going straight for the poles, because the poles may very... I'll pick this one up too. Yeah. But because the poles may very well be clear of the Kara, because it's colder, it might be harder for it to survive and thrive up there, and stuff like that. You know, the same way that places in reality, like Lake Vostok up in Siberia, I think. Or it might be... All systems might actually be in the Arctic itself. I can't remember exactly. But, you know, it's where up there it's an isolated kind of biosphere, or an isolated ecosystem that's been removed from other bodies of water and other organisms and things like that for the longest time. And as a result, you know, you've got all of these other bacteria, microorganisms and other things in there that are different, they are strange. And, you know, so as a result, potentially, that would be, it would be a good idea to go, if you were going to come back here, it would be a good idea to go up north, or south, to a polar region where it's cold, just because then you're potentially going to have all of the stuff that's dangerous, frozen, self-contained, and then you can take samples of it and you can do whatever with it otherwise. What I would be more interested in is if we're playing that researcher that's come back, we've got a list of objectives and things from Altera, because also it's a DLC. I'm not expecting another full game the size of Subnautica. I'm expecting the Arctic polar region with above water ice and stuff like that, but also with kind of the deep and not so deep areas. But also we've had things like, I think it's the Atlas submarine, the huge ass submarine that they thought that they would put into the game, which potentially had ice breaking capabilities along with some other stuff. What if that's our base in the next game? You know, not in the next game, in the DLC. You know, what if we've got far more in the way of yes, you are coming here as a well-supplied actual explorer, not a random survivor. You know, I'm much... Whoops. I'm caught on something. What am I caught? Okay. But like, I'm much more in favour of that, because we can see more of like how we would have lived. You know, we still don't necessarily need a name. We still don't necessarily need anything else. It could be an off-the-books research project, because this place is counted as such a dangerous environment. You know, it could easily be that. But you know, that's what I'm kind of hoping for since they started talking about it. But you know, we'll have to see how it all pans out, because I can hope and wish and whatever else, whoops, as much as I like. There we go. Right, so we've got a whole load, so let's go and turn this into ingots and stuff.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
Cool. How's our nuclear generator going? Okay, it's going fine. Probably going to need you inactive. Yeah, you're inactive. Okay, that's fine for the moment, though. We'll turn this into titanium first, and then we'll tackle the rest of our moving around and materials and making sure that we've got everything and whatever else. So, but yeah, like the Arctic biome also sounds really interesting. They've got a lot of creatures that they had concepts for, both Leviathan class and tiny and stuff like that, and it'd be really cool to see some of those in the game. The Rock Puncher is one that's been shown off, I think, just wandering around alongside penguins and a kind of glowing whale. And there are some pieces of concept art for kind of whale-like creatures that glow. So, you know, it'll be interesting. Yeah, we've got loads of lead, so we've got the lead, but what do we need for a computer chip again? That thing that always seems to change whenever I look. Oh no, gold, table coral, copper wire. Okay, that should be easy enough to do, although we probably should have picked up some coral whilst we were back over there, but hey, yeah, because we don't have any coral. Damn it. Okay, that's fine. We can make a return trip quickly. I mean, it's only up the side really, but we can make the copper wire. So we've got that, and we've got more than enough gold on our. Oh no, that's just coral tube. But we've got more than enough gold on our on Flimsy at the moment, so that's fine. Okay, so we've got the lead, we've got that, we've got the gold on Flimsy. Right, so what I want to do is empty out. What we got in here? Loads of stuff. Oh yeah, I wanted to build a second aquarium as well, didn't I? Okay, what we're going to do is, because we've got this locker here for kit, which at the moment only has blood oil in it, so we will stash the stuff that we need for the rocket in here for the time being, because yes, because that's exactly what we want to do right now. The next thing we want to do is just yank all of this stuff out. We just want to go stash this quickly, and then I want to dock Hardy in here, and then after we've docked Hardy in here, we can consider going elsewhere to get coral, and to at some point we do need to go back and pick up Speedy. So we'll leave our kind of docking bay on Flimsy Mark II kind of empty for the time being, just so that we have an easy time of going straight back and picking up Speedy when it comes to it. Right? Are we? Cool. Right. Okay, so what I'm going to do is come back over here, jump in here, and then we've made some space, not a lot of space, but some space by carting stuff off, but we need two things. Where is it? Electronics, computer chip, 2 table coral. We should probably grab a load of table coral as well, actually, because we don't know. Yeah, we don't know if we're going to need. Whoops, no. I want to turn around. We don't know if we're going to need more computer chips. I would imagine we will, considering it's a rocket, and I would assume that the rocket is going to need sensors, and it's going to need other various pieces of equipment and such that are computerized. So we should probably grab. If we need 2 per, and let's say the probably maximum that we're going to need in terms of computer chips is maybe 10. So, although that's 20 pieces of coral. That won't take us too long. So yeah, let's grab like maybe 15, 16 to 20 odd pieces of coral, because then we should be good. How long have we been going? We've been going 20 minutes so far. That's fine. But yeah, we'll do that, because what I want to do, plan laid out, is obviously the DLC for this, the Arctic DLC that's now been talked about, is not going to be around for a while. They're going to be working on it, developing it. In theory, it's probably not going to be as big a map necessarily, but obviously we would like to see a large map, because that's kind of what... Are you quite done, peepers? You know, we would probably quite like to see a large map of some description, just because that's kind of what this game has been about, right? It's been about going out, exploring, finding things. Come back, thank you. I went, yeah. And so as a result, like I think I just picked up a... Yeah, I did. No, we don't want that. But like, so you know, one would hope that we're going to have as much of that, in a way, as we've had in the main game, but probably... Like, if they manage to basically make it another map of a similar size, and then, you know, deal with that as a new play space with a lot of new stuff in it, that'd be great. That'd be terrific. Love that. But you know, I'm not expecting too much from them yet. you know, maybe the more we see about it, the more they tell us, the more we get to see over time, then maybe I'll get on the hype train with everybody else. But like, I'm like, the thing that I want from it is more story. I want to see more expansion on what we know about Altera and how they operate and what they're here for and all that kind of thing. So 6, 12, 13, 14. Okay, so if we just grab like a few more down here, then we should be good, I think. You know, I'm as said, I want to have maybe a little bit more purpose than just survive, escape, and whatever else. And the other thing is that if the Kara is up there, but one of the only Leviathan samples that could cure it is still left down here, then, I mean, they could have a vaccine, I guess, maybe. But in a way, but also that could possibly again be the main cause that kicks off the whole Kara stuff for their natural selection games. But anyway, that's 12, 20. If we grab one more, then we've got a full number for more stuff. So, you know, I like the idea of us being a better outfitted individual, and where potentially we don't have an ocean floor to establish a base on so much, you know, where it's either more hostile or we've got more in the way of things that we need to avoid down there, or it's just too deep, or we just need a sub that is more substantial, you know, a larger sub that has a capacity for ice breaking and whatever else as well. Obviously, they don't want to terraform the landscape anymore. You know, they removed that from the game. So, like that, and that's absolutely fine, because that was one of the things that was sucking up kind of your PC's resources and causing problems. So they don't have to include that, though, just to say the reason why that sub was sent with you was purely because of the other bits and pieces that are down here. And again, like, if Altera has sent a ship with you aboard, and the ship acts like the ship landing ground, like a lunar module, acts as your base of operations with equipment and whatever else there, and then you've got a big ass kind of Atlas submarine or one of these other subs with multiple bays for keeping multiple things like a Seamoth and a prawn suit and whatever else on board. That'd be terrific, wouldn't it? Because then you've got this kind of large collection of various things that you can... hold on. Cool. I just wanted to make sure. I just had this sudden feeling that maybe I was infected again. But yeah, like the interesting... I'm gonna need... Oh, we don't have enough space for it at the moment. That's fine. We'll sort that out in a minute. There we go. Let's eat that. But yeah, so we're going to want to have like a lot more. I didn't pick up any gold, did I? I'm sure we've got some gold on here somewhere.
Welcome aboard.
But yeah, like we've got a substantial amount of no, we didn't want to do that. Of bits and pieces that we can apply to kind of an Arctic area that would, I think, make it so much more interesting than just, oh, you're another survivor. Because, you know, we've kind of found out about the survivors. We've found out about what's going on in regards to kind of why we were here, you know, why we even came to this planet instead of heading straight to our next destination. You know, it was a mix of slingshot maneuver and favor asked by the Mongolian corp, and it's or corporations, I suppose, Mongolian clans, And so it's like, yeah, we've got a whole load of stuff that, you know, we now know about the Aurora, about the survivors, about like everything else that's kind of gone on so far. We have a good amount of that information. I mean, it took us how many episodes to get through all of the data that was here? You know, there's a lot there. And so what I would like to see more of is, as I've kind of said, the capacity for more about Altera, more about the precursors, even more about the Kara, you know, more about just what's going on in the world, or the universe, whatever you want to suggest, really. You know, that's where my head's at. That's what I want to see. And so, you know, obviously now we're looking towards the end of this game, because we've got, the plan is, which I started saying something about earlier but never actually got around to finishing my thought on the matter. The plan is that we will build our rocket platform, and then maybe build the rocket too. You know, depends on what it requires, how much of it is required, and whatever else. So we'll go and get on with that. But okay, let's kick this off first before I keep going on about what the plan is. Game. Oh, I genuinely thought the game had just crashed because I tried to build this. That terrified me. But okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to build this. We're going to build the rocket as best we can. Obviously, we might have to go on some excursions on whole episodes to go and tackle like certain things we need, like kyanite. I'm sure it's going to need kyanite, because why wouldn't it? And so we're going to have to, at some point, probably head... That was loud. But at some point we're going to have to go and head back down into the Lost River and the lava zone and stuff to deal with the requirements for this rocket. But then we've still got scans to get. So we're going to get scans first for the things that we need. Okay, so I mean, this seems a little low, but then also this seems like a huge ass solar panel, which I don't know how that's going to work once we've stuck a thing over the top of it. But alright, I'm not going to... suspension of disbelief, crazy sci-fi tech, it's all fine. I mean, to be fair, this looks like it could be... Probably isn't, but it looks like it could be its own solar panel as well. We've got more friends, but let's see. Plasteel ingot, copper wire, and lubricant. I mean, we can do that right now. How long have we been going? 33 minutes. Let's go do this right now. Plasteel ingot, we can definitely do that. We should still have some lithium. Copper wire, I'm sure we've got at least 2 copper that we can rub together. And then lubricant, we've definitely got some... I mean, we've got our creep vine growing upstairs if we need it. So let's... I want to find out what the rocket needs, because we've got a lot of stuff. So maybe we'll 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What's that? Nickel? No. Okay, nothing left in there. No, I didn't want that. Well, I do want that. We'll do it in a minute. Lithium. Got 1 kyanite. We got creep vine. Okay, so plasteel, and then it was copper wire, wasn't it? Copper wire. We got copper? I'm sure we got copper. There's copper. Oh, do I have too much? I have too much. Okay, let's sort this stuff out into what we need from it first. Let's do lubricant. That's cool, right? That. Oh, need 2 lithium. 2 lithium. Okay, we'll grab that in a sec, but we need copper. Do we have more lithium in here? No, that's lead. We have more lithium in here. Nickel, silver, lead. No, okay. We definitely have some out here. At least I thought we did. No. Losing track of where all my stuff is. There we go, lithium. Cool. Okay. Right, so let's do the copper wire first. And then we're going to want plasteel ingot. Excellent. Right. Okay, so let's head back out. Oh, wrong way. I'm just going to stash this in there for the time being because we will need it again because we, as said, are going to be building a Leviathan hunting Seamoth at some point, but we can do that at a later date. That's fine. But right now, this is what we're doing. Does this thing have its own marker? Yes, it did. It had a rocket marker, didn't it? Hold on. Where's the thing? Because we want to turn that to yellow so that it matches everything else that's a base. Right. Okay. So, plasteel, copper, struck. Okay, that was exciting music. I mean, this thing's huge. I very much appreciate the scale of this. Because I'm like, I was thinking about some stuff to do with scaling in this game before, and it's just like, you know, the scale of the Aurora and the amount that we can actually explore. There's a lot of it that we can't, and I can imagine, you know, those huge ass engines and their drive system and all the rest of it probably takes up a lot of the back of the ship. But right, what we need: aerogel, nickel, a wiring kit, plasteel. Ooh, aerogel. I'm not sure if we'll be able to do the aerogel, but we've definitely got the nickel. We've got a wiring kit down there, and we can definitely make more plasteel. So let's see what we can do. Like, how long have we been going? We've been going nearly 40 minutes. But this is exciting. So let's go and try some more. Let's go and do a little bit more. Ha! I'll try not to go beyond, like, too far beyond 40 odd minutes. But if we can get this stuff. So it was another plasteel. Gimme titanium. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. What else was it? Seb's already forgotten. It was plasteel, aerogel. And what else? So plasteel ingot, 3 nickel, aerogel, wiring kit. Wiring kit. Excellent. 3 nickel. So now we just need the aerogel, and that we need those sack pod things that are over near the Aurora and stuff, don't we? Okay, so it might be the aerogel that stumps us here. Yeah, it's alright. We can get a lot of the stuff done. Oh, we need some more lithium, do we? Okay. Unless we've got some more like kicking around here somewhere, which we do. Excellent. Right. Okay, so we can do. Gimme plasteel. I could have sworn we had like one of those things, one of those little squares of aerogel somewhere already. I could have sworn that we had picked one up or whatever, but apparently not, unless it's hiding somewhere else. So okay, what we're going to do then is because we are going to go and have a little bit of a hunt around for the stuff we need to make aerogel, which there's probably a good chance that that this is is going to require aerogel at every point, I would have thought. So what we're going to do... I mean, I think there's my thumbnail right there. But hey, what we're going to do is we'll call it quits here, and we'll come back and take a look for the aerogel. Or maybe I'll go find the aerogel and stock up on it between episodes so we can just start making the rest of this rocket. Because I want to do the rocket, I want to make us our Leviathan hunting sea moth. I want to go get those scans. I know that there are still some other places we need to explore. There are still some other bits and pieces we need to pick up. I want to create my second aquarium that's more carnivorous and dangerous animals, including that crab squid egg that we've got down there already. And yeah, then I want to take on a realistic approach, which I know is ridiculous, but you know, we're going back. We're role-playing here. We're getting into it. We're going to want to make sure that we can stock up with as much stuff as we possibly can for our trip back home. And I'm also going to want to make sure that we find another one of the emperor babies again, as it's grown into a juvenile, from a kind of a juvenile into like an adolescent or a young adult. And I want to get another scan of those if we can. So yes, that's what we will do. And I want to go up and play on the lift, but I'm not going to do it right now. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the episode tomorrow. Take care. Thank you very much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video or found it interesting, then please drop us a like, share this video, and subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the video tomorrow. Take care.